person dies, it is said that they go to eternal rest. But some souls refuse to leave. They remain here, trapped by rage and vengeance. Tonight, we will venture into a place no one should approach. We will open a door that cannot be closed. And we will face a spirit whose story is not yet over. Welcome to the last rites. In the heart of Egypt's desert, miles away from any city, lies a small village forgotten by time. This village holds a terrible secret, one buried within an ancient church known as the Black Resurrection Church. More than 50 years ago, there was a priest named Johanna Mitri, a strict clergyman who carried within him a darkness unseen by others. He practiced mysterious rituals, communicating with forces that should never be approached. One night, he was found dead inside the church, his body mutilated, his eyes wide open, as if he had seen something beyond comprehension. After his death, the church was sealed, and no one dared to enter. But the stories persisted. It was said that his voice could still be heard whispering at night, and that some had seen his shadow moving in church. The abandoned. Huda, a YouTuber specializing in the paranormal, was searching for a new story for her upcoming video. When she heard about the church, she knew she had found something extraordinary. She decided to go with her team to film a documentary about this mysterious place. The team consisted of Kareem, the lead cameraman, known for his sarcastic humor, but he doesn't believe in superstitions. Nadia, a history expert who enjoys explaining mysterious phenomena scientifically. Amir, a reckless adventurer who believes in the paranormal and loves experiencing scary things firsthand. The team arrived at the village at sunset, but the locals refused to talk about the church. The elderly avoided looking at them, as if they knew they were heading toward doom. An old woman approached Huda and whispered in a trembling voice, "Turn back." The priest never left. But curiosity is stronger than fear, isn't it? At midnight, the team grabbed their equipment and headed to the church, unaware that they were about to face something inescapable. The church door was massive and wooden, locked with heavy chains. Without a second thought, Amir broke the lock with a metal rod and slowly pushed the door open. A foul stench of mold and ash seeped out, as if the place hadn't been open for centuries. Inside, everything was old and decayed. The wooden pews were covered in dust, and the chandeliers hung at odd angles, as if ready to collapse. But what caught their attention the most was the large cross at the front, hanging upside down. "This isn't normal," Nadia murmured. Kareem started filming, but suddenly the camera malfunctioned. He pulled out his phone, only to find the screen completely black. He tried turning on the flashlight, but it wouldn't work. "This is weird." "The camera was fully charged," Kareem said, struggling to get it working. Huda stepped closer to the altar, where a black book lay covered in thick dust. As she wiped it away, the title appeared clearly, "The Last Rites." Without thinking, Huda opened the book. The pages were filled with strange symbols and incomprehensible words. Driven by curiosity, Nadia read a few lines aloud in an ancient language. And suddenly, the church trembled violently, as if it had awakened from a long slumber. The lights went out completely, leaving them surrounded by darkness. Then the whispers began. "You have awakened him. The ritual was never completed, and now you will never leave this place." Then came the sound of heavy footsteps approaching. Kareem, who had been filming, suddenly collapsed to the ground, his body trembling, his face as pale as death. When they rushed to him, he spoke in a choked whisper. "I saw him. He was standing right behind you, Huda." Huda turned quickly, but there was nothing there, or so they thought. Suddenly, a deafening sound echoed through the church, a mix of screams and distorted religious chants. Then, a tall, shadowy figure emerged, moving slowly toward them, its eyes glowing the color of blood. The priest had returned from the dead. Everyone ran towards the door, but it was tightly shut, as if the church itself refused to let them leave. Sounds came from all directions, terrifying laughter, children crying, and eerie whispers. Huda remembered the words in the book and began reciting the last rite in a trembling voice. The priest glared at her with rage, his body shaking violently, but he didn't retreat. "It's not enough," Amir shouted. Then Nadia found a line in the book. To break the curse, the final rite must be spoken in the priest's own voice. "How?" "He's dead." But the answer came to them immediately. From within the altar, the priest's corpse began to move. His mouth slowly parted, forming words, though he was no longer alive. The ground shook violently, and a deafening scream filled the air. Then the door burst open. They all ran, escaping into the night. When they finally turned back, the church was vanishing into the darkness as if it had never existed. But the next night, when Huda played back the recorded footage, she saw something that made her forget how to breathe. In the final shot, just as they were fleeing, the priest stood at the entrance, smiling, then whispered to the camera, "I will return." The end, or just the beginning.